Now, I've been asked in the comments section on one of my videos by Cat E. Asked the question of, is it possible to get a hand doing these events with the touch drive in the cars? And I actually wasn't sure about it, but I said I'd take an ask around the place and take a look and see if it was in any way doable. And sadly, outside of these things like the nitro time and jumps, those ones can be done with touch drive. You just need to point the car towards a lot of the jumps for most of the tracks. But these times, La Ferrari, I'm just going to throw the car into it here, and I'm going to also do what I can to direct it at the best path that you can possibly take whilst going through a few things. And you need 119 in this version of the car to get the minimum rewards. And the problem is that sadly it's just not possible. I've taken a couple of different runs at this, and touch drive, it does say it in the top right hand corner when you're selecting it. It says like this is a casual control method for for casual players and for children. And I guess the way they've tuned this event is effectively just that those people would not be wouldn't be their target audience. So like they just haven't really considered these times as a possibility for that audience, like I said, which kind of, it's bad. But the main problem that you have with touch drive is the fact that if you just use this mode exclusively, uh, is that you can't change, like you have three options when you're driving down a road, but like realistically for a driver you have hundreds of more options with everything. Even down here I noticed there's an option when you hit this ramp, there should be an option to go right to get on top of that avalanche stuff that's falling down, and there just isn't an option with touch drive to go what would be the best path. So like I say, even with this run, you can see here the car slowing down to 140. That's one of the main problems with this drive method. And even with hitting the what is basically the same track path as the that I would go on this with the manual controls, like touch drive gives a 122 time. It doesn't win the race. The nitro time would be filled off by that. You could potentially, like I said, point that car at those jumps. No, you might even have problems with that, because with touch drive you can't get the car to slow down, and you kind of need the car to slow down a small bit for those 9 jumps. And even the very first blueprint, your LaFerrari time 119, it's 3 seconds out in comparison to the final blueprint, which you would need to actually unlock the Chiron, because you'd need to be getting all these. You're talking about it being nearly 11 seconds off, and there's no amount of tuning of that run using touch drive that would bring that up. Sadly, like I said, they've targeted touch drive as something for the casual racer of Asphalt, and they've targeted these events at not the casual racer, which obviously, I'd imagine if you really want to play this game and get the most out of it, but you find it difficult to drive, they kind of put the option there of, here's this easy way that you can drive, but you won't be able to take part in these events, which does suck. So the only thing I could suggest to you is, if you do use touch drive, maybe just like start to try your hand at using the manual controls, especially now that Asphalt have made it so that the fuel timer is so low on the lower rated cars. So if you take something like a Lotus Elise, the Viper ACR, the H2 Speed, and I'm just trying to think of the other ones, the Corvette Grand Sport. If you've picked up any of those cars, like, they are brilliant for the handling. Like, there's a lot of cars in Asphalt, really, really, you need advanced handling, but the Elise, sorry, the Viper ACR and the Grand Sport, like, those are 3 cars which handle incredibly well. They're like, definitely amazing beginner cars. They all suffer in the speed department, but they have fantastic handling, and really they're a great entry place to start off. Like some of this ramp boosting and stuff that I'm doing in some of the runs that I do, like that's not something that you're going to pick up over one or two races. So don't get too disheartened if you play and you're having trouble to win races, but do just keep in mind that, like, at the end of the day, if you were the best in the world at touch drive on the Switch, you still won't be able to compete in these events, because that 11 seconds time deficit for the maximum blueprints just would never be possible. And it is just because the way touch drive works is the cars decelerate way too much. And also, when it comes to your options for paths around the track, they just don't open up the same there isn't the same number of paths available. So like I said, even if you were the best ever at touch drive, you still won't be able to compete in these events, sadly. And yeah, the only thing I could recommend is, like I said, try out those cars. The H2 Speed as well is another really, really good one. The H2 Speed has an extra bonus for players getting started into the game, in that it can actually drift and gain speed. Like it's most noticeable, that H2 Speed, on a track like Cairo for that massive corkscrew bend. Try drifting around that in a H2 Speed, and you'll notice the fact that it actually accelerates while it's in that huge drift around there, even at like a heavy drift. But yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that, guys. Sadly, this isn't a here's a guide to do exactly what you want, but it's just the way that the game has been laid out, sadly. If these guides, albeit this one not being, like I said, what you want to hear, do help you in any way, please do hit the subscribe button up above, where I'll be doing guides for the manual play mode. And yeah, there's my indie game reviews over there, where I have a bit of a laugh playing those, and a random video at this side. Okay, I'll leave it at that, but good luck, guys. And yeah, if you do get into manual, maybe leave a comment underneath this video if there's any tips and stuff that I can help you out with. And yeah, like I said, I'll get back to most comments on my channel. I really do appreciate all the feedback. Okay, I'll leave it at that though. Good luck and drive safe.